Hi everyone, Melissa here. I'm back with another video, and this week I want to talk about a subject that comes up a lot, and that is feeling like your manifestation is impossible, feeling like your dreams are impossible, feeling like you've been trying so hard and you're just never getting what you want, or this one thing just feels so out of reach. That's a really familiar feeling, just in general in the manifesting community, and especially when you're learning about all this stuff, you know, things that you want really bad that maybe you've wanted for a long time might seem really hard to get, might seem not possible for you. So I want to talk about that and how to kick yourself out of that mentality if you're there, and why everything is possible for you, and how to break through that belief system once and for all. So before I get into the topic of before I get into the video today, just a reminder, I am available for one-on-one coaching. I also have some courses for specific areas of manifestation and affirmation bundles. So if you are someone who needs personalized help, I would love to help you, either in person, via a coaching session, or through one of my courses or bundles. So check that out. The link will be in the description of this video. Sometimes you just need a little help getting out of your own way. Sometimes you just need a little help seeing where you are putting limitations on your desires, and that's where coaches come in. So I would love to help you. Check out my info in the description of this video. Okay, I want to talk about things feeling impossible. The first thing I want to say is, if something feels impossible to you, it's only impossible, it only continues to be impossible if you continue to agree with that, if you continue to say so. What you say goes in terms of your perception and beliefs. And that's what shapes your reality. That's what shapes your experience in the physical world. So as soon as you start changing that narrative, your reality is going to start looking different. So the simplest way to start to get out of the mindset of this is hard, this is impossible, is to stop telling yourself that that's the truth. Stop agreeing with that. No, this actually is completely possible. I was mistaken. Maybe I thought it was really hard, but it's actually really easy. So you start changing your self-talk in relation to how insurmountable that goal seems, how hard that manifestation seems, how impossible that dream, that desire seems, okay? But a lot of times people have trouble just deciding a new truth, just affirming something different, because the feelings attached to that story of impossibility are pretty strong. And if you are used to thinking about something in a way that is limiting, it's going to feel uncomfortable and maybe hard to immediately start just assuming something better is true, to immediately start changing your story. That's where persistence comes in. We talk about that a lot on this channel. You got to push through that uncomfortable in the new story. You have to persist through that uncomfortable with your new story in order to overcome it. But what if you've been trying that for a long time and nothing feels like it's working? The trick here is, at some point, you have to start inserting the idea of the possibility in your mind versus the impossibility. The more you consider the possibility, the less your mind is going to keep bringing you back to the impossibility. The more you think about, or do even just allow yourself to explore the idea that something could be easy or something could be possible, the easier and more possible it's going to start to feel to you. The more natural it's going to feel that, oh yeah, this does happen for me too, this can happen for me too. So what are some ways that you can talk yourself in to that new identity of possibility instead of limitation, of easy instead of hard, of I can have it instead of I can't, of I do have it instead of I don't? So I'm just looking at my notes here while I'm talking, so if you see me looking down, that's why. So one of the things that really just I thought about a lot when making this video is the reason why things feel so impossible sometimes is because we don't have a point of reference for what the possibility looks like. We're so used to seeing how it's not possible in our 3D and using that as proof that we can't even think about what the possibility looks like. So if you're somebody who struggles with creating a new story or with visualizing, that's understandable, because especially if it's something you've been trying to manifest for a long time or something you've wanted for a long time, you have seen what you deem as proof in your 3D that this is hard, this is not happening, there's no movement, this is not possible. And then guess what? Your subconscious mind is like, you're right, I'm going to prove you right. So then every experience that shows up is going to validate the belief in there's no way this can happen for me, because you've got nothing that you see as proof that actually it is possible, actually it is happening, actually it is true right now. You've got nothing in your reality experience that's shown you that. So like, especially if it's something you've never manifested before. Let's say you want to start feeling abundant and be wealthy and financially secure, but your whole life you've grown up in lack and scarcity and broke and being told that money doesn't grow on trees and struggling and thinking you have to work really hard for money. In your current mindset, in your reality experience, you have lots of points of reference for not having enough, but you don't have any for having more than enough. So how do you know what more than enough feels like? How do you know what thoughts equal more than enough? So one of the ways that you can start introducing things that equal what you want is true, if you've never experienced it, is start intending that you see examples of success in the exact areas that you want. Like, let's go back. Let's keep going with the money example. Let's say you really want to win the lottery and you've been playing for years and you've maybe won $5 here or there, but you've never had your big win. Start looking up videos or stories about lotto winners. That right there immediately shows you, look, somebody else did it, so I can too. Look, someone else did this, so that means it's possible. And if it's possible, that means it's possible for me as well. So right there, you're inserting a new point of reference for success in what you want versus no winning examples, right? Like you're introducing the possibility that you can have that too, that you can have what you want. Another way is to recognize that you only don't see examples of what you want because that's the narrative that you've been playing in your mind all this time. You've used the 3D to validate that. So it's only showing up that way because you've only been thinking about it that way for so long. And you've used your experiences to validate those thoughts. It's not actually permanently the truth. It's not actually only what you can ever experience. It's just what you've experienced up to this point because of your thoughts, because of past circumstances that you made mean lack and scarcity and broke and not enough. So the second way is reminding yourself that what I see is up to me. What I see out here is up to me. And another way to think about that is, how am I perceiving this? If I'm only using my past experience to tell me what's possible and true for me, if I've never had a past experience that equals something good or what I want, I'm setting myself up immediately to never get what I want. So you got to break that pattern. Just because you haven't experienced it out here doesn't mean it's not possible. Doesn't mean it's not true. Doesn't mean it's not happening right now. And that's also why when you start telling a new story, those affirmations can feel like a total lie, because they are in that moment. You've got no reason to believe that that's true because your reality has constantly shown you the opposite is true. But don't make that mean that it's still not true. What you see is up to you. So choose to see the new story, choose to see the affirmations as the new truth. Decide that the new story is the truth regardless of whatever you've experienced or not experienced in the past. And this goes for any manifestation, not just money, even though I'm using money as the example today. So like, think about it this way too. Like when you're scared of something, like I'll give an example. I've always thought about going to a chiropractor, but it really scares me because I think, oh my gosh, what if they do something wrong in the adjustment and then I can't feel my toes, or they damage my spinal cord? Is that a ridiculous assumption? Totally. Are there tons? But I've never experienced a good experience with a chiropractor. I've also never experienced a bad experience with a chiropractor, but something in my past, maybe I saw a story once where somebody got a adjustment and it went bad, and that stuck with me. I chose to believe whatever that was. And so forevermore, until I decide to change it, that's a scary thing for me, and for me it's not safe. Does it mean it's actually scary and not safe? No, because everything is empty and meaningless until we apply a meaning to it, until we decide what it means to us. Are there tons of examples of people who constantly go to the chiropractor safely and it makes them feel better and it's a great experience? Absolutely. Am I choosing to see those as possible for me? No. That's why I'm still scared of that experience. That's why I'm validating my belief, because the truth is subjective. Impossible is subjective to you, to what you are going to choose to agree with, to your assumption. If you continue to tell yourself, this is hard and impossible for me, you're only ever going to keep experiencing hard and impossible for you. But it's not actually true, and you can immediately prove that to yourself by noticing all the other people around you that are able to manifest what you want. So like, let's go back to the money thing. Just because you haven't been able to manifest $10,000 doesn't mean it's not possible to manifest $10,000. It doesn't even mean it's not possible for you to manifest $10,000. Look at all the people in the world who have $10,000 right now, who are receiving it constantly, or who have received it multiple times. There's infinite examples of that. Just because you're telling yourself it's not possible, that doesn't mean it's not possible. Look at all the examples. Look at all the proof. So like, you can argue your way out of your impossible story just by looking around you, seeking out examples where people have been successful manifesting what you want, what you're afraid of, what you think is hard. Right there, that shoots down the story that it's impossible. Because if it wasn't possible, nobody would be able to do it ever. If what you want was impossible, nobody would ever be able to experience it. You wouldn't even know that it existed because it's not possible, right? So, start talking yourself into the possibility. It's possible that I don't have to be afraid of chiropractors anymore because they're safe. Right there. See, that's me changing my story about that. Am I going to go to a chiropractor? Probably not. Do I care to change my story about it? Probably not, but I could. But so it's all up to you. It's always your choice. Choose to stop agreeing that it's not possible. Choose to stop agreeing that it's hard. Choose to stop deciding that because you've got no point of reference for what this success looks like, then that it's not possible for you to have success. You don't need proof out here to be successful. You don't need proof out here that it's possible. But if you need help getting to the idea that it's possible, intend that you find proof, which could be success stories, could be, somebody in your life manifests what you're hoping to manifest. It could come in a bunch of different ways. But you can absolutely intend that you see evidence that what you want is possible. And then you'll experience that, and that will help validate your belief in the new story of what I want is possible and totally happening. And then another way to maybe talk yourself into the idea that it's possible is, maybe I thought it wasn't true before, maybe I thought it was hard before, but that was just a misunderstanding. I'm figuring out now that it's actually really easy for me. I'm figuring out now that it's actually possible for me. I'm discovering that this really isn't hard. I'm discovering that there really is a way that this could work out. I'm learning now that there really is a way that this could all get resolved in a way that makes everybody happy. It really could be a possibility that this could all work out how I want. And then I always really love to remind myself, just because I can't figure out how, don't make that mean it's not happening. Don't make that mean it's not possible. Don't make that mean it's never going to happen. We will get stuck on the how sometimes and try to logic our way into why we can or can't have something, and that can keep you stuck there. So don't even worry about the how. If you catch yourself worrying about how or thinking what you want is not possible because it has to happen this way and it hasn't happened this way, you're immediately limiting it. You're immediately disagreeing with a possibility. So take out that step. Don't allow yourself to even focus on the how. That's not your problem. Somehow, some way it's going to work out, and you don't have to figure that out. All you have to do is start accepting that even though you've never experienced the success of this manifestation yet, or maybe you've had hot and cold success, or maybe you just have had or have success and are trying to hold on to it, it's possible. It's possible, and it's true, and it's happening. The truth of what you want is yours. Your desire is yours. Nobody can tell you you can't have it except for you. So try to separate yourself from the details of how it happens. Separate yourself from all the reasons why it didn't work out in the past. Separate yourself from all the reasons why you think it can't happen in the future. Those are not actually true. They're lies you're telling yourself because you have no point of reference for the success of what you want. Maybe you don't understand what abundance feels like. Maybe you don't understand what the loving, committed relationship feels like. So to you, it feels impossible. Don't make it mean that. Surround yourself with examples of the possibility of that, and then apply that to you. If they can do it, I can do it. If they can experience it, I can experience it. If it exists for them, it exists for me. Abundance is true for me right now, even though I can't see it. Even though I've never felt it, I can feel it, and I'm learning how to feel it, and I'm discovering that it is easy for me to accept the possibility of what I want. Okay? So I just wanted to give a little pep talk about that, because I know sometimes saying a bunch of affirmations just feels yucky, and it doesn't feel like you're changing anything, and then you look out here and nothing's changing, and then you can feel like, well, this doesn't work for me. But don't make it mean that. Just because you don't have what you see as proof in your reality, or you've never seen proof in your reality that something is easy or works for you, ditch that story. Don't continue to tell yourself that that's actually what you're experiencing. It's only hard if you say it's hard. It's only impossible if you say it's impossible. So start today to shift your narrative, to shift your thoughts about whatever your desire is. I don't have to work hard to get anything. This is happening for me, and I don't have to figure out how. And if I thought it was hard and impossible before, that was just me mistaken. That was me thinking I needed proof out here to believe it. Okay? All right, I intend this video helped you. And like I said, I'm available for coaching if you need some help. I would love to meet you and work with you. You can find my info in the description of this video. I intend you have an amazing week ahead, and I'll see you in the next one.